Hello friends, Dale here, 3 Generations, welcome! Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to tell another farm story, different kind, but as an artist I'm always looking for ways to do some artistic kinds of stuff, but also stuff that can help my resources stretch them further, make the resources duplicate, say, from stuff I'm already doing. So, as you know, I have Finnsheep, mostly Finnsheep, and I sell lambs mostly to the ethnic and cultural markets for their celebrations, their high school graduations, you know, the kinds of things they did back in the countries that they came from, that they practiced as far as meat sheep. And so I let them come here where they will butcher on my site here, and I hang out and I harvest the stuff that they don't want. So the hearts and the livers and the testicles I will harvest and then cut up and put it in my breakfast with my eggs that I get from the farm here. So that's just one example. The rest of what they don't want that's not meat, it goes in a wheelbarrow, and then I put it in my compost pile where I bury it, and it turns into compost. Plus, the chickens come and they dig through that and they get stuff to eat from that too. And the wool was doing that too. Well, probably 4 or 5 months ago, a good friend, Carmen, said, well, why don't you make something like lambskin rugs or throws or something from that? And it got me down a different path. Not that I never thought of that before, it's just I always assumed what I had learned years ago, and that tanning is very harmful to the environment, it's harmful to the people that do it. You know, this is very antiquated stuff, I know, but anyhow, that's where I was at. So anyhow, and the other thing is that, you know, there used to be child labor doing it, so all these kids were dying off from all these chemicals and stuff. So anyhow, I didn't have any interest in any of that, but I was really excited that this wool that I bury in my compost pile, eventually it becomes dirt for our garden, you know. It takes about a year or so, maybe 2 years for the wool itself to break down. The sheep itself is broken down all except for the bones in like 2-3 months. So anyhow, I started doing some research and found out there's a lot more modern ways of tanning. Now, your professional tanners are going to poo-poo this, probably, very much so, but who cares? You know, these are proven methods to saving something like a lambskin and make it into a rug or a throw. So, one of those that I've settled on that I'm going to try, and I will show you maybe in this video or the next video, is that egg yolks and warm water, some people say add some extra virgin olive oil or something like that to the mix, that you rub that into the skin to tan it. But I'm not there yet. I have washed 5 of my lamb skins, and Kendra, my wife, who's a fiber artist, is very jealous of some of these because they're beautiful. They're still got some dirt, but I got most of the nasty dirt and most of the BM kinds of dirt soaked and washed out of it. It still has the vegetable matter stuff that when I'm completely done with the project, I will take a comb and I will work out that stuff and I'll get it out of there. You can just, you probably can't see it, but there's just a lot of vegetable matter in there. Hay, straw, grass, you name it, seeds. So anyhow, what came today in the mail was my skinning, not skinning, that's not a skinning knife, this is a fleshing knife. So here's my fleshing knife that I will use to get the fat and the meats that are still left on this skin. Now, this skin was harvested 4 or 5 weeks ago, and at the time I didn't have time to do anything else. I was too busy. So what I did is I salted. It was a case. It came off in a case, and I cut it from its jaw down to its butt end, and I opened it up, and then I had bought some salt, which I can't remember what that stuff's called, but anyhow, I got it from a feed mill that you would be adding into some of your feeds if you wanted your animals to get salt. It was very inexpensive. I got like a 50-pound bag for $7-8 from the local feed mill. And so then I made sure that everything was covered up with the salt, and then I folded it into itself on its skin where the salt was, and I took a tote, one of these little handheld totes, plastic totes, and I'd built it beforehand. I had taken some wood and made just kind of this little sled in there, so that as the salt would work on that stuff, it would loosen it up and it would start running, and so it would run into the bottom and not on the wool and soak into the wool. So anyhow, that's already been done. I will show you that process maybe on this video or maybe on to come videos. I have 3 more of these casings that I need to do, so I will do that soon. Let me describe then the washing. So the washing, I took Dawn soap, dish soap, and I wanted hot water, but my outside spigots don't produce hot water. But the hose, the 100-foot hose out in the sun makes it at least warm. So I put warm water in a wheelbarrow, and I would gently take and knead these. I'd put them in wool side down, and I would knead them one at a time in that barrel. And it would just get black as all get out, really dark black. And then I would hang them over our gates, our metal gates, and let them drip dry. And then I would do it again. And I think at that time I did 3 of those. And then I just filled the wheelbarrow up with water, not all the way, but about halfway. And then I put these lambskins one on top of another, face down, and tried to work the air bubbles out so that soap and that water would mix really well in with this. And I was planned on about 3-4 hours of that soaking, and then I got called into work. I wasn't expecting it. I was off that day. They needed help in the evening, so I decided to help them. So it ended up sitting in that overnight, and the next day I was off work. So then I put them out on, I kind of wrenched them out, but until it's tanned, you don't want to be pulling too much on this. Some wools will felt, what they call felt, and some wools, it might actually release the wool from the skin, and you don't want that, because that's what the tanning process will hopefully do, is to make the ends of the wool stay fast in the skin, so that it doesn't shed and and go barren. But so I let them out in the sun to dry. I don't want to get them completely dry because I still have to flush them with this flushing knife. And so I can rehydrate them if they're too dry. But then I had Kendra come out to see them. As a fiber artist, she loves wool, and she loves making yarn out of that wool. And she is a good resource for helping me know if I'm achieving anything here. Well, she saw these things hanging on the gate, and she was excited. She was pleased. She thought this is really cool. Before that, I'm not so sure if she thought it was cool or not. I'm not sure. Maybe she was. Maybe she was playing along with me, but maybe she wasn't. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But she got excited. So anyhow, I'm hoping to get this up and going. It'll take me a few of these to get good at. But then I'm hoping to create a market for these lamb rugs and lamb throws. The throws are ones that people put on, like on their chair to sit on, or in the back of the chair on the couch or something. The rugs obviously go on the floor. And so the first 5 that I have done here are pretty much white lambs. But then in my next 3 I have, I think, one or two that have color. And as soon as I sell them, hopefully soon. A lot of the rest have except for 2 of them have color in them. So I think those are the ones that are going to be really cool looking, although these will be really beautiful too. But anyhow, all right, here you go. You can see I took a fence post and put the pelt on top of there. And it's still, I would typically wash the salt off. I'm just doing a quick, try to get a quick idea how this might work. So anyhow, bear with me. This one here is really cut up bad, so it's a good one for me to learn on. And I got this feed bag because I don't have an apron that I'll eventually want to have. But the idea there is to keep this flat against that post and pull up the rest of any fat, and it's a little dry. So I will probably need to rehydrate these before I actually do this. Although it's not having experience, I think I'm actually down there pretty good. Here'd be an area. Here you can see there's a lot of fat. And so the idea there is to, with my stomach and belt area, is to hold the fleece and, oh yeah, look at this. Yeah, that's taking that off. And there it is, it's off. Cool. Anyhow, I've seen the YouTube videos that say this can take a first one an hour. I think I've seen hour to 2 hours to do a fleshing of a lamb like this. But then once you get good at, hey Mr. Rooster, are you wanting to be on the YouTube video? But once you do a number of them, I've seen where people say they can get it down to like 15 minutes. But anyhow, that's the idea, kinda. And without experience, but I like what it's doing here. I'm getting that fat, and it's mostly fat. There isn't much meat. The people who did the butchering did a really good job, I think. Oh, there I tore it. See? But anyhow, you can, once you're done, you can take and sew these places back together. And these, you know, this one is definitely, if you can see it, that one's definitely a tear. Now these, well, somewhere here, this is the tail end. And so right in here should be the anus opening. Maybe that's what that is. I'm sure that's the tail. Yeah, because here's a back leg and here's a back leg. But anyhow, here's this fleece that I just had over on the fleshing post. And I brought it back over here. I just want to get some salt back on here where I scraped it off. Now where did I put the salt? I want to just show you how I did this. Whoops, there's no salt here. Oh, that's nice. But anyhow, pretend there is, and I just put it on there. Shucks. Anyhow, and then I would pour it on here, and then I would just, there's a little bit of salt here yet I can, and then I would just make it, kind of even it out. Just even it out. Now that's not near enough. I had it, you know, a lot thicker. And this will be my first case, because this one was really cut up really bad from the person who butchered it. But it gives me a good case study and an initial one. So, but I'm going to have to rehydrate. Well, it's actually not, here it's a little bit dried out. So I'll probably have to rehydrate it. So now I'm just going to roll it up, putting skin to skin. Let's go the other way, because I want the salt and skin together. I just basically roll them up. And then I put them in my tote over here. So this tote here has the 5 that I've already washed in it. And then I got a tote with 3 of them that I've only salted, not done any cleaning on yet. So hey, thanks for watching and have a blessed day. Bye.